Welcome to HERcast with Dr. Chito. Today we're going into a subject so many couples are silently battling, starved for connection, the intimacy crisis in marriages. Too many marriages look perfect on the outside, but are starving on the inside. The hugs fade, conversations shrink, and the touch that once felt like fire disappears. And when intimacy fades, love starts to feel like loneliness, leaving couples starved for connection. To help us unpack this, I'm honored to be joined by Dr. Shola Ogbodu. She's an international development advisor, a certified trauma informed recovery counselor, and founder of Diary of a Trauma Survivor. With over 20 years of experience in policy advocacy, strategic communications, and psychosocial support, she blends academic insights with practical strategies to heal trauma, rebuild connection, and empower communities, a voice we desperately need in this conversation. So, together, we'll explore how unhealed pain doesn't just break hearts, but silently robs marriages of intimacy. And most importantly, how healing can restore closeness, reignite passion, and rebuild love. Welcome, Dr. Shola, again. I told you you're going to be coming back here because we have the endless things to talk about where it concerns the psychology of women. And I think this is a topic that we're just saying how many don't talk about it. From the women's health perspective, or from even, people around me, I've constantly been hearing the struggle people are having in marriages, even young marriages, which is so sad, where intimacy fades away. And I always say it's not only sex, there are other forms of intimacy, and that disappears, and it's just like I'm with a stranger, and all we have in common maybe are the kids,
True.
and that's all we have in common. There's nothing else. And I also know it's human nature to crave intimacy. Some people, it's actually their love language. So this is why this topic is so important. What are your thoughts before I delve into my two questions?
Well, I would say that you're very correct. I've had conversations with many women lately, and even men, and you find out that this has become a menace. And many people are living in denial. They're not talking about these issues in their marriages, and marriages are collapsing. And then you're wondering what the matter is. So I think, by the time you delve into the questions, we would unbundle these issues and hopefully find solutions.
By the end.
Mhm.
All right, so let me start. Why are so many couples feeling lonely inside their marriages?
Hmm. So let me put it this way. First of all, there's a misconception between sex and intimacy. So let's break it down. What is sex? So sex is physical act. Anyone can have sex. But what is intimacy? It is broader, it is multifaceted, and it focuses on emotional connection, it focuses on trust, vulnerabilities, expression, communication. So it's larger than what we think it is. And why are many couples lonely? Because they do not communicate. There's so much assumption. So I assume that this is what you want, or this is what you like, or this is what you deserve, without going an extra mile to understand my partner and ask salient questions. What makes you happy? How would you want to be seen in this marriage? Another thing is that many people go into marriage with a mission.
Mm.
And I tell many couples, some couples, that I counsel, I ask them a question. Why did you get married in the first place? Is it cultural? Were you forced, or just because you want to procreate? Or were you looking for someone you could live life with?
Mm.
And that's where we all miss it.
Yes.
Because when you go in with your own mission and I have my own
Own
mission, then we are not aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, one person suffers for the other. So that's just it.
That's what you said is very important. In fact, this is something funny. I immersed one of my staff was talking about her marriage struggles. And I said, okay, so what was it like in the beginning? And she started of like, I married him because kind of a junior staff. I married him because I knew he was a tailor. And I said to myself, a tailor will always have a job in hand.
Wow.
And I said, huh, okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that that is kind of the beginning of the problem. When what she looked at was a provider. So this person has a job with his hands.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as he has a job with his hands, I'm okay. But she didn't go in understanding the dynamics of marriage or relationship. And as I think for me, a lot of times, if because this is urban, but if you go to the rural areas, that's how they marry. Actually,
True.
that's how they select their spouse. So we're talking about it in our space,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I can imagine how many women are dealing with it everywhere else that can't talk about it because it's like a norm.
True.
So I think what you said right now really touched me. Like, how? What's your mission?
Mm-hmm.
And that mission makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Can love survive? Because see, when you talk about intimacy and people talk about love, I don't know how that love will be defined, but can it survive when intimacy fades, or does it slowly just become just friendship? And I say just friendship, and that's the good end of it. Let's be honest, sometimes it's just cordial, not friendship. Because to me, I take friendship very deep. Friendship is a lot of things. I always tell people friendship is like one of the most important ingredients in a relationship. But you can't be friends and not be intimate or connected with each other. So let me say, does it get to the point where we're just cordial? We're just talking maybe about the kids or about politics or general conversations. Is that connected to the lack of intimacy?
So let me put it this way. Love is beautiful, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but without intimacy, there's no love.
Mm,
Let's be honest. I could be your friend, we could be friends. And then it also depends on your definition of friendship. But in this context of marriage,
mm-hmm.
intimacy is key.
Yes.
We cannot remove it from the whole dynamic. It's not possible. I could love you, but what kind of love do I have towards you? Is it
Mm,
agape? Is it platonic? But if we're talking about friendship, if we are friends, if both of us are friends as two women, then it's just platonic
mm-hmm.
relationship. But in marriage, it's deeper than that. So we're looking at emotional connection, we're looking at spiritual connection,
Mm-hmm.
we're looking at physical connection. We're also, you're attracted to your partner. But the lack of intimacy is a big issue simply because, like I said earlier, it's multifaceted. How would you be married to someone and you don't have, conversations? You don't have physical touch. You don't talk about lifestyle choices. You don't talk about the children. So it goes beyond just being cordial.
Mm-hmm.
Many couples are roommates, they're just neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them
And that's
even
okay.
share,
Yeah.
yeah, some of them even share the same room, but they're not seen, they're invisible to each other. So they wake up in the morning, good morning. It has become a routine.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to eat? Oh, your food is on the table. The man is not checking up on his woman, on his wife. She's not checking up during the day as well. She thinks it's no longer her business what he does with his money or what he does with his life.
Mm-hmm.
He hangs out with his friends or she hangs out with her friends and nobody cares what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what marriage should be.
But sometimes you can be pushed to that
Of
point
course.
as a
Yeah.
defense mechanism too. Sometimes,
And then you
whether
shut
it's the
down.
man or the woman, where you get pushed and pushed to the point where you just shut down. It's easier to deal with the pain or what's coming at you when you just shut down, as opposed to when you're facing it and you want more of something and then you're getting stabbed. So I think some women get there from more of an emotional crisis and maybe
Hmm.
the wrong coping mechanism,
It
to be
is wrong,
honest,
actually.
but it may be the mechanism where you're like, I can't deal anymore. It's a lot. It is better to take my mind off this. And women have some women, well, let me not generalize, have this white and black. Like, it's either I'm here or I'm extremely here. So I can be in. But when a woman turns off,
Mhm.
I don't know about men. Remember, I'm a woman's health provider. So I'm not trying to be biased. But when a
Yeah.
woman turns off,
Mhm.
to turn that woman back on is a lot of work, I think.
Yeah. So that's where the problem is. Many people are not, they're not having conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than developing that toxic,
Mm-hmm.
um, how do I put it now, coping mechanism, why not have that conversation? Stop living in denial
Mm-hmm.
and try to fix it. So many women would rather stay married and be
Mm.
unhappy
Mm.
than having to confront the situation. Then I ask myself, why is it a problem to sit with someone you dated, you courted, and have a proper conversation? And if it's not working and you've tried to fix it over time, over time, over time, why stay in that situation and not take a walk?
Mm-hmm.
So I've also discovered that many women want to really leave the marriage, but
Mm-hmm.
because they're not empowered.
Mm-hmm. Or children.
Some of them have so many children they're grappling with, and then they're wondering, how am I going to cope with the number of children I have? What will society say? But you're suffering in that marriage. I've also seen some women that try as much as possible to just, I don't know how to put it. Well, I'm not advocating that, but they do unthinkable things
Mm-hmm.
just to help themselves out there, but it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. What happened to morals, to your values? But it's a very difficult place to be,
Mm.
really. And without communication, I mean, I don't think anything can work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's look at it this way. I've also seen people that say, I try as much as possible to fix this. I talk to my partner, but he's not listening.
Mm-hmm.
Some men keep malice, and they keep malice with their wives for 5, 10 years. I've
And
seen
vice
some,
versa.
yeah, vice versa. But I mean, but
Yes.
I would
I do.
talk, on
Let's
behalf
talk about
of
the perspective of
women.
men now today.
Yeah,
So
because we're
we
women.
are not saying it doesn't happen to men, but
Yeah.
we're going to be talking on behalf of the women
Yeah.
today. Okay.
So you see some husbands keep malice, and they tell you they're not just expressive,
Mm-hmm.
or the woman doesn't understand them. I had a client recently, and she told me she's not been in talking terms with her husband in the last 4 years.
Talking terms.
Yes, they don't even say good
Are they in
morning.
the same house?
They're in the same house.
Wow.
So she has her room to the right, and he's got his room to the left.
Hmm.
And they wake up in the morning, and then when they want to discuss about the children or their progress or whatever, they have notepads.
There's no point. What's the point?
So she communicates in writing, and he sends her an email. So she doesn't cook for him again, but they're married. But guess what? So this is where I find it very interesting and bizarre. So both of them have family functions, and then they write a note to each other. This is true life story. And they tell themselves, so we're going to pretend. So I'm going to wear the Ankara that has the blue pattern so that you know what to wear as well, so that we look like a couple. They go out together in the same car, they smile. They just make some gestures. I don't know if they do sign language. I don't know what their problems are. And they pretend outside, they get back home, and it continues. What kind of life is that?
One of them has to be breaking down inside.
Both of them are.
Oh my goodness.
So he's no longer interested in the marriage, but because of his job, he needs to keep that facade. She also doesn't want society to blame her for not being able to keep her home. So they're stuck there. And I asked her a simple question. So why do you think you need counseling? Because you know the answer to to your problem. So how do you want us to solve this, madam? And she was dumbfounded. You don't want to leave, but you're in a toxic relationship. The man too doesn't want to leave the marriage. Then fix it. So where did the spark go? Where did you both miss it? Can we retrace it and start having those conversations? But both of them are not willing. That's where the problem is.
Sometimes I even think that in some relationships where you find not, I mean, this is the most extreme I've heard, but you find in some extreme situations, I think one of the steps before even fixing it is to find out where the pain point. Like sometimes pain doesn't allow you to want to heal. Like that pain where you're like angry, you're done, I'm done, I'm done. This is it. I mean, and the fear of revisiting the pain. Okay, what happens if we go back and we come back here? I've already done my journey. And the journey I've done now is that I have reached the point, that, oh, I don't feel anything anymore. I'm good enough. We're all doing our separate things. And there's a fear of, so I should go back again, fix what? And then maybe go through this journey again. Do you understand? So sometimes I think that holds back as well. Like the person will just tell themselves, I might not want, his personality hasn't changed. The reason why we are here hasn't changed. So I'm seeing this person, like we talked about the last episode, the person could be a narcissistic personality. It's still narcissistic personality. Might want to change to get me back if that's what they're interested in, but we might come right back to see you like this in another 2 years. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Could that not be an issue, reason why some women decide, okay, it's either I'm going to be here till this point of my life, or, I don't know. I'm just trying to think this out, because this your last story is getting my mind thinking that there's a deeper thing in there. And pain for women are more emotional.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes women tend to shut down faster.
Very true. So you're absolutely correct. So some women, like we mentioned, view that coping mechanism, and they feel that rather than having to go through that route of talking about these issues or trying to fix it, they would rather just shut down and pretend and just live every day as it comes. So but when you get to that point, it's also very difficult to start talking about how did you even get to that point in the first place? Because during courtship, these are things that we see. You see all of these shortcomings, and then rather than asking yourself, can I cope with this kind of person? Because of whatever choices that you make, you decided to go on with the marriage. But when you're in this kind of situation and you've tried your best possible to fix it and it's not working, you just stay stuck.
Yes.
I mean, it's a very sad situation, and many people don't also consider counseling.
Yes. Many men refuse counseling.
Even women.
And women too. They refuse counseling. And I know that many people also go to their religious leaders, which I always say in my mind that one of the things I know happening, I know in the US, in the church that I go to in the US, one of the things that happened there is that in their counseling session, they have certified counselors, real professionals in their counseling section to guide. But here we're still far from that. You just have people that will tell you, please pray, go back. Yes. Go, this is how I look at it, So you don't have that supportive counseling. And any other counseling, they look at as
like there's something wrong with them.
It, yes.
And because I don't know if I should say many Nigerians are judgmental.
Very.
The church
you can say
too,
it because I feel it.
Yeah. I mean, the church too is judgmental. So you're meeting your pastor who probably has more issues than you do. And then he's telling you it's long suffering. You just have to cope. It's your cross. Carry it. I don't know where to really draw the line between religion and mental health. It's so deep. It's very unclear. You meet your pastor, whether your pastor's wife or your pastor or an elder in church, and they trivialize it. Or they flip the whole message in the Bible and they're telling you, your husband demands respect and all of that. And I tell people like that, are you saying a woman doesn't demand respect as well? They will tell you a man demands respect, fantastic. But a woman wants to be loved. A man too wants to be loved. The woman too wants to be respected. So it's not cast in stone. But because of cultural scripts, everything is generalized. It has to be like this. I was speaking with someone recently, and the man kept saying, I know that women are like this. So every woman has to be like this. And then I'm wondering, why do you think every woman has to be like this? Why do you think every woman loves flowers? Why do you think every woman wants to be called in the morning and, have you eaten? How are you? What are you wearing? Why don't you just ask questions? What do you like? How can I make you feel better? What is your love language? And you see this love language of a thing too. It's something many people are not talking about. They don't even know what it is.
But it's so important.
It is important.
It's
Don't
key.
assume. Yeah, don't assume for me.
Because most men think I'll buy you, buy this. And that means, ooh, you love me. And then the one's like there's one song by Luther Vandross. I can't remember. They said, buy me a rose. Open the door. That song makes me, I love that song because it's a classic thing of, open the door for me. What's about buy me a rose? I don't need you to buy me a new car and then I'll be crying in my bedroom and looking at the car through the window. A car is nice, but hey, that's not my love language. So it's not doing anything for our connection. Do you understand?
True.
It's helping you feel good, but it's not adding value to our
Absolutely.
connection.
Yeah. So it's more like an ego booster for the man
Yes.
or for the woman,
Yes.
either
Depending.
way.
Yes.
Yeah. But the love language, there are different types. There's the
Yes.
acts of service. Some
Yes.
just want attention. Some just want to be listened to.
Yes.
I want a man that I can, after a hard day's work, I sit with him and tell him, can you imagine what happened to me today? Can you believe this is what I'm going through? Even if he doesn't have a solution at that point, he's just nodding his head and he's saying, baby, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
Rather
powerful one.
than, yeah, rather than you buying me some Lamborghini and I don't have your attention. And you do, and some, some people also think other things like even your hairdo is trivial. I want my man to see me and say, you look different. Oh,
Yes.
this suits
Oh,
you better than,
Mhm.
oh, this is a new dress. Mm. I like how you're looking at. So we're all different. And the fact that your ex liked certain things doesn't mean your new partner
So
should like
the
it.
same thing. Yep.
So we just need to be intentional and deliberate. And marriage, is a contract, whether we like it or not. When you go into business with someone, you, of course, do not want your investment to fail. That's what marriage is like. You do not wake up one morning and look for some beautiful woman out there, pull her out of her father's house, put her in your house, and turn her into a monument. Who does that? And then you objectify and sexualize her. And all you see when you see this beautiful woman you call wife is how you're going to open her legs. And it ends there. I have seen cases of men negotiating sex with their wives and saying, if you sleep with me 4 times in a week, I'll pay you this amount
Their
of money.
wives.
Oh, yes, this is true life story. Oh, the wig you said you wanted. Oh, you said you wanted to travel to the UK. If only we have sex. And we're not talking about, what's it called? It's not love making. There's also a difference between sex and love making. This is not love making.
Yes.
You're just bam, bam, hit it and then you go.
Yes.
And then the woman feels that, she's become a prostitute in her own home.
Marriage.
So the man now tells you, okay, so whenever you sleep with me, this is it. And then they leave you as a monument. They put you there. When they need you again, they come to you. That's not what marriage is. And when you put a woman in that kind of situation, she's frustrated. And sometimes, like you said, she would rather just shut down. Some start praying. Some even, start having extramarital affairs, which shouldn't be. And they get lost in the process. And it destroys a whole lot of things in the long run.
Yes.
So rather than subject yourself to such torture, and even your partner that is not cooperating, if you've had counseling sessions and it's not working, therapy sessions not working, and if you're the religious type and you've gone to church and you've talked to your pastor and your pastor is the one that, that is reasonable, and he's spoken to both of you and it's still not working, you know what to do.
Honestly, and I think when you said that thing about counseling, the problem I have is that many people don't go
They don't go.
to counseling in this climate.
Yeah.
You hardly see even family counseling because, or sort of marriage counseling outside the religious area. Both, I think, both Christians and Muslims. You hardly see that counseling with the the psychologist or sitting down to talk about counselor, certified counselor. And I think that's something I'm just highlighting here because that's, I think, always the first step in a way. You do all you're doing, you pray, that's all good. But having that incorporated into trying to fix it, if this was the person you said, I do too, then you have to fix it. Another comment from what you said is, one thing, I think every man thinks that all women want is money. Even when it comes to normal relationships, all right? Even when I have money, then it comes with women. Everybody know. And the truth is, poor man, I would say, doesn't know that, okay, fine, but none of those women are connected to you. And then you marry someone and all you showed was money and you don't see a connection and you wonder why. Do you understand? So that's most of the general concept here. They don't want to know your love language because they assume that if I have money, whatever your love language is, money
You
will
would
sort
align.
it. Money will correct it, and it's not true. Like I always pray, like I have my son, and I always say, Kai, find the woman that's your ride and die. Do you understand? You need and I always tell them your partner It's not about what you give, what you receive. This is about friendship.
True.
This is your person, like you're entering it together, like it's
Mm-hmm.
me and you. I really do. And then for my daughter, I say the same thing. It's not about material, but she's small though. She'll just say, Mommy, I have many, 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 many years. I say, yes, I'm going to start speaking now.
True.
Because so you don't make mistakes that we made, and you're able to go down the right path. So it's important, I think, to also educate our kids
Yeah.
the best way to go, so we can change
Absolutely.
this whole narrative of it's all about money. Now, touch starvation. I know you were talking about different types of intimacy, and you said touch is very important too. And in this, and I know that there are other forms of talking, conversation, all that, like you said, connection. But touch is a significant part of intimacy. And I know that I read somewhere that said about how lack of intimacy or even lack of physical connection can reduce your lifespan. And when I read that, I said, any man or woman you're with that doesn't want to touch you, you're she's killing you slowly.
True. Very true.
And I read that and I said, this is very significant. That part of having a healthy lifestyle is also having a healthy relationship and a healthy, intimate relationship.
True.
So, what we're saying here, a lot of women are touch starved, literally. So, what does this really do to our bodies, our minds, and our hearts, being touch starved?
So I like to put it this way. It's, well, you're correct, but it's also touch drought. It messes up your whole life. I cannot imagine being with my partner, I mean, my husband, and then he doesn't touch me. That sends a signal to my brain that I'm not sexually attracted to him, or he's not sexually attracted to me.
Yes.
You know, as human beings, we thrive where there is warmth. You want to be cuddled, of course, and not just cuddled, you want to be seen. And as a woman, you know what it is like when you're sexually starved in your marriage. It doesn't only cause self esteem issues because you're looking at your body and you're wondering where the problem is, but it also makes you feel unloved. And you see, when that happens, that's the beginning of the end,
Yes.
whether we like it or not. You also need to ask yourself, my husband is not touching me, then who is he touching?
Oh, it's very true.
I have also heard several times.
Can men stay
Yeah.
without having? Because people say
That is where I was going.
Okay, can men stay without having intimacy? For example, like 5 years, 6 years. Can they actually stay like everything functioning? Because I feel testosterone is more powerful than estrogen in this case.
Yes, yes. And I wouldn't really know. I am not sure I have an answer to that.
I don't have
But-
an answer, but
Yeah, because I'm
in
not
my
a
mind
man.
says no.
Yeah, but I've also heard men say things like they're moved by what they see. So a man sees a woman, or dressed provocatively, and he's moved. A woman, maybe just some, I mean, just a few percentage, but a woman wouldn't necessarily be thrilled if she sees a man in his boxers.
Yes.
She might imagine things, but she's not all carried away.
Yeah.
But for a man, all you just need to do is just show a little cleavage, and he's almost gone. Yeah. So for men,
Not those filled with the Holy Spirit.
yeah. But for some men, I'm not sure they can stay that long
Yes.
without, maybe not intimacy, without sex.
Yes. And they can stay without intimacy, but the sex
course.
part is what I'm talking about.
The sex part. So they can sleep with, I am sorry to say this to any man listening, but a man can sleep with anybody, literally.
But some men will argue, not all men.
Yeah, not all men. Yes, of course, not all
So I
men.
just
but
say
some
generally.
Men. Yes. Well, maybe not generally, but
Some
some men.
men.
Yes,
Some
some
men,
men.
some
So
men.
a man sees you.
But I don't think they can stay without sex for years. Oh, haven't had, like you said, the longest
I don't
one you've
think
heard
so.
is 17 years.
Yes,
Can a
17
man
years.
stay without sex for 17 years?
Then who's he having sex with?
That's what I'm saying. 17 years is a whole child, teenager.
But for a woman, I think it's a little bit different.
Women can stay actually.
Yeah, they can. I mean, they can decide to be celibate, especially when they have children.
That's what I'm saying. Most
So they
times when they
pour
have
all-
kids, they
yeah.
put everything into their children.
They put everything into their children. But a man, he's got friends, he's exposed, and even if he's so disciplined to the point that he honors his values. Even women, I mean, there's some women out there that will poke him, and he could be tempted at any point in time, even if he decides to retrace his steps. But for a woman, I know women also get all the attention, and then a man pokes and says, "What's your problem?" And then they try to make a, or try to validate and say, "You're very beautiful." I just, but if a woman wants to be disciplined, I think it's easier than the
It's
man.
easier, but sometimes I always say this thing that men create room by having or denying intimacy for either man or woman. They create the room sometimes for temptation to come because our human nature sometimes will overcome, yes, the morals and values we have, like a battle. It's like a daily
Yes.
battle.
Yes.
When we have our kids as women, we throw everything to our children. We don't mind what's going on. But there comes a time, and it can just happen in one place that someone tells you, "Oh, you're beautiful." And you've never heard that before. You put the danger in that woman saying to myself, "I am, right? I really am, but I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm not." Because she's human. Before she's a wife, before she's a mother, before she's anything, she's a human being.
Sure.
And I said something, and this is going for those that in the Bible, Christian, but I said even God knew why marriage was important.
True.
Was because of the human nature of man. So why then would you think you can take intimacy, from someone, or deprive intimacy from someone that God already knew He put in the person in the first place? And sometimes that nature is stronger than anything else. So let people understand that out there, that you think you're depriving, you're creating room for that person to justify. We're saying if that's what you want to do, maybe think of maybe telling yourself, go to counseling, do all you need to do. And instead of maybe cheating, maybe just decide that this is not working for us.
True.
Because sometimes as mothers, when mothers think of doing things like that, think of their kids. What happens if my children find that? And that matters. In Nigeria, the culture sometimes gives men permission to do it, to be honest. They don't get sanctioned for cheating. If a woman is caught cheating, it's all over social media. If a man is caught cheating,
It's like,
it's okay. It's not a gist. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, but I think it's unfair. And I think it's unbalanced. I think something we should think about.
Very, very true. Very true. And I think there's some men that intentionally deprive their wives of sexual intimacy. But at the same time, you also need to acknowledge that there are different kinds of people. There's
Yes.
some that fall into the category of being or having spontaneous desires. And there are also some that have responsive desires. Now, the typical difference between that is if you're married to someone who's spontaneous, he or she wants
Yes.
intimacy or, sex or whatever it is immediately without even telling you. However, you're now married to a partner that wants connection, that wants a build up, 365 days, prepping you up before the actual connection starts. It is normal, but it's always misunderstood. And that's why conversations must come up regularly.
Yes.
I've also heard issues of partners or one partner wanting to use sex toys
And another one.
and the other one doesn't.
Feeling
al-
maybe it's evil.
Absolutely. You've also had couples, one likes it kinky
Yes.
and the other one doesn't like it kinky. Where did they miss it? They didn't have those conversations pre-marriage. But now that they're now in marriage, how do they solve it? So what
How
do
they
you like?
balance it.
How do they balance it? Someone asked me this question and it got me thinking for almost an hour, to be honest. Because I kept saying, would you now put your values aside for the sake of marriage just because you want your partner to be happy? Do you like what he's proposing? She says she doesn't like it. Oga, do you want this? He says that's the only thing that makes him happy. So how do you balance this? Can we look for some, play games? Maybe something, maybe not so deep. So, you need to compromise. You need to, look for other activities. There's touch, there's cuddle, there's some other things like that. But the man insisted he wants her to dance on the pole. So where did he
Wahala.
also get his imagination from?
If you cannot move That's dancing on the pole is a skill. Oh.
I
Is
know.
a will as is a fitness routine.
And this woman is our typical, homely girl. Yeah, yeah,
Conservative.
conservative.
The pole is just not it.
And she keeps saying she wasn't exposed to all of that. But the man says, I'm going to teach you.
Oh wow.
So that kind of couple, what do you tell them? And this is a man who's also exposed to clubs, strip clubs, and all of those things. He also wants his wife to go to such places with him.
But is that even right? I don't understand. All
Well,
of a sudden, because I married you, that's why discussion before marriage is very important.
it is very important.
What do you like? I know women sometimes are scared to ask these questions because why? They feel, oh, let the man not think that I'm very forward or loose. But it's a good question. So, what's your love like? What do you like in terms of this? Asking those questions before you go into marriage can save you a lot of trouble in it.
A whole lot. And even when in marriage, there's no harm revisiting
and saying, this is not what I like, but this is what we can do, or this is the
Absolutely.
Yes. And this is where having conversation before marriage, having those when you're on a date, this is the date questions. And it can be visited in a very casual manner. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, for those who have never had any sexual relationship going in, you better ask because you now know the things that you have said in your mind. I will never do this.
Yeah.
And that might be exactly what the man wants from you. So you have to ask as well.
True.
And vice versa. Now, people always say that kids, careers, even social media. And I'm going to add social media there because the phone and the device has taken intimacy away from marriages. Or would they really steal intimacy from marriages?
They do.
They do, right?
They do, because I cannot imagine being by my partner, for instance, and then he's on his phone 247. I've seen situations where the man or the woman is on her phone or his phone, and he's laughing. And then
good laugh,
like, and then the partner is wondering, "Do you want to share? What's funny?" And like, Or some of them pick calls and receive their calls in the restroom or in their cars, or they step aside. What are you hiding, really? That's not what marriage is. Marriage is two coming together to become one. So if you can't share those moments, and I would always tell couples, when you are in a relationship, you should set boundaries in your marriage. And the boundaries are, number one, we have phone time. When you get into the house, the first 2 hours, you're connecting with children, with your wife or your husband, and then you're putting your phone aside. You can't be with your phone all day at work, and then you still come home, and some even stay in the car an extra 1 hour when they get home before going into the house, because maybe they want to, I don't know, probably they're trying to reach out to all the girlfriends. Babe, I'm home now, don't call her. Or they're trying to keep, that's the reality of things. Or the woman too is saying, oh, my sugar boy, I'm home now.
Don't call me now.
Don't call me. Or that's when they think it's important for them to go, what's it called, on their phone and on Instagram or catching up with TikTok.
Instagram and all those things can take a long time. You could be there scrolling and laughing, and you look at your time, 2 hours. It even takes from work.
And it's addictive.
You're like, oh my God, 2 hours. And you can't say what you did that was productive.
Yeah, so it's very addictive. Now, let's look at the children.
Yeah.
There are women that are good wives but bad mothers. There are some women that are good mothers but bad wives. Likewise, men. Now, when you pour all the love into your children and you ignore and neglect your husband, that's a problem. The man doesn't feel seen. So it's not just about the woman, wanting all the love and attention and all of that and thinking I've respected him, I've given him his food. After all, it's only sex he wants, and that's it. That makes the marriage work. No, it's beyond that. When the man comes on, it's also a time to connect with your children, but you need to make time for your wife. That's the mother of your children. Without that woman, you won't have those children. Without the husband, you won't also have those children. So why not balance it? Someone asked me this question and said, who's more important? My partner or my children? And if I have to be very honest with you...
We should do a survey. Maybe we should do a poll on that one.
And to be very honest, your partner comes first, unfortunately.
Even the Bible says a covenant, you have a covenant with your husband, you don't have a covenant with your children. But in emotional place.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're your joy.
Mm,
So the man has to bring joy too.
absolutely.
If he's
So it's a
bringing
two
pain,
within.
you face the joy.
So your partner comes first. You're having those
Yes,
conversations, and then both of you
yes,
can parent your children
and love them
properly
together.
and love them together. But the love I'm supposed to give him, it's only on the children. So
Yeah.
I'm asking my children, what did you eat? What do you like? I got you this. And then you're neglecting the man who provided, I mean, who brought
But
those
don't
children
men
to
get
life.
easily jealous of those things? Like when a newborn, you have a newborn baby, and the baby, you can walk, you can birth yourself. The baby can do anything for themselves. So you're, concentrating on taking care of the baby, and you hear men say like, "I exist too," and you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking you exist too, but you can function. This baby's a newborn baby
Yeah.
on my breast.
Yeah, but you know that's where the conversations come in. So
Yeah.
even before pregnancy, you're also having those conversations and saying,
Yes.
there's a third wheel now.
Yes.
We are now three, no
Yes.
longer two.
Yeah.
And the man also needs to understand that his wife is probably going through pregnancy blues. She's stressed.
Yes.
So what happens to chores intimacy? Helping each other out.
That's service.
Service.
Yes.
So the man comes in and says, "Oh, sweetie, I know that you're really occupied, you've not been sleeping well, but can I help you with this? So whilst you take care of our baby, I'll make dinner
Yes.
so that you can have some time to rest. And then when you rest, we could cuddle later.
I can massage your back.
I can
give you some
massage your
I mean,
back.
there are ways. I can teach you guys. Come on.
You know?
There are ways that will just make a woman go like,
Exactly.
oh, my hobby.
And she
Your
feels
feet.
loved.
Yes.
She feels loved,
Yes.
So when the man, becomes her masseuse and then massages her back, helps her do some chores around the house, he could also spend time with the baby while she takes a nap.
And does his bonding.
Yeah, and then all the jealousy would be trashed. So
Yes. It's
and they
true.
can still have their time together because when baby is calm, baby is happy, and baby. And I also tell couples, do not let your children sleep in your room.
Many
Some
people
do
are
it.
guilty of that.
So daddy's here, mommy's here, and then you have two children or even one child in between, and then the
What
child
age do you think is the right age? Because I don't.
to
people
separate
do,
rooms.
People do that thing where they put the baby in another room. Let me confess, I didn't do it. My baby stayed in my room.
Yeah, but we
I
learn
kept
everything.
thinking, when baby's choking, can I hear? Even that whole baby monitor thing didn't work for me. When I hear, I'm up. I want to be right in the scene. So let me confess, my baby. If you bring my husband now, he will tell you the story of my baby in the room. I kept my babies close to me until I felt they can shout for help.
So what I would
He's like,
I know, but what I would advise in that kind of situation is, you see, from day one,
yes,
your baby should have his or her cot.
yes,
There should be a baby room
in the main room or in their own room.
in
A
the baby's
separate
room.
room.
Yes, it could be very close to your room so that you can monitor. Those are things you plan even before marriage, so that at night your baby. I mean, both of you can cuddle. You can spend time together and talk about issues. Intellectual conversations and all of that. When baby cries, decide who goes to carry the baby. The baby is an independent being. He or she has got his own life to live. And you see, another thing happens when you bring your baby into your matrimonial bed.
Okay, bad, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now what usually would happen is, if it's a girl, I have seen that happen several times. The girl now competes with you over daddy. Have you seen that happen?
Okay, I know girls and their daddy, there's no part two, but they're like so keyed into their
Yeah.
dad little girls. So
I have seen
I
such
see
situations.
more of the older age. Like my daughter will tell me, they say that the daughter is the father's first love. I say, great for you.
Yeah. So why not
Great
just
for you.
separate, because this is marriage we're talking about.
Yes.
Marriage is different from parenting.
Yes.
So hold tight to your marriage and fix it and make it work. And then let baby be babied in his or her baby room. And then you can put baby monitors, I mean, there are many things you can
They can
use
do, yeah.
to ensure that your baby is safe. Check on your child periodically. Have
That
mommy
means you won't
time.
sleep now.
No, I mean, but you have mommy time with the baby. Then there's also
Okay.
daddy time with the baby.
It's true. Take turns.
Then there is me and you time.
It's true. It's true.
It's important, and that's how intimacy builds.
True.
And when you start early, you find out that things would go well. But if you're so bonded, and we mothers tend to be so bonded to our children, and then we lose touch with the man out there, and then especially, I have seen situations where The mother is breastfeeding her baby, and the man feels so jealous and say, "That's my property. Why is this baby suckling?" So and then the baby is pulling, and then the man is like, "This thing is my own now." I mean, it's funny, but these are realities.
Yes, yes.
And then the woman starts saying, "No, it's not your own. No, it's now the baby's own."
Mm.
So we're not saying he's sexualizing you, but those are the pleasures
Yes.
between husband and wife.
It's true. It's true.
So when you now keep it and you deprive a man that had access to that part of your body for years or months before
The baby came
the baby
out.
came out, and then you're now taking my thing from me.
How long is it going to be?
And then and then you do that for baby one, baby two, and then if you now have 5 babies, you've lost. You've lost the intimacy. And if you're not careful, and then
Yes.
most times the woman also forgets herself, so she doesn't take care of herself again.
We talked about that. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity.
And they just feel so relaxed and say, "I have gotten what I want. I've gotten the man I want. Well, I'm now a missus. I focus on my children." So you see them tying wrappers. They're not looking as sexy and as lovely as they should. It doesn't stop you from having those moments. And that's why I said, when the baby is used, or when your children are used to staying in their own room, they already from childhood understand what privacy is. This is mommy and daddy time. So put your children, let them be independent. Well, I'm not saying you leave them by themselves.
It was easier with the second.
Yeah.
Is
that first one really?
The second one, I don't know. I think, and she's actually, you're right. My second is so independent because I was so much more like.
So you can still love up on your child,
So
but
much more.
they know that this is
Yes.
mommy and daddy, and it causes a lot of rivalry in the future if you don't manage it well. So the child, and these children are so awesome. They're so intelligent,
Yes.
and they know who's on their side.
Yes.
So they manipulate mommy and daddy. And because mommy and daddy now lack intimacy, these children know.
They know.
So daddy tells them, "Don't worry, mommy beat you, right? I would buy you,
Yes.
the game."
It's almost like
mom-
they're competing for the children too. Like
Attention.
they know that, yes.
So
Now I'm going to go into solution before I know time, but this all these things we're talking about, especially in marriage, I'm beginning to think that somehow we should make intimacy it should be an intentional thing, because there's so much going on. So should couples schedule intimacy, or does that kill the spark? Because we all watch these things and movies, and we grow up watching all these things, and it's like the build up. You're in the kitchen, someone comes behind you, and somehow you end up in the bedroom, and all these kind of moves. But looking at what we're talking about, careers, kids, all this stuff, should there be a scheduled time for intimacy? Which again, I'm not only talking now only about physical intimacy, I'm also talking about emotional intimacy, which I was going to ask the difference, but we can talk about that as well. Should we schedule this?
So I think I strongly believe that it shouldn't be engineered. It should be organic.
But organic may not work in the midst of chaos.
Yeah. So in the midst of chaos, and you're trying to rebuild what was there that is now lost.
Yes.
Yes, you can schedule it, and then both of you sit together and say, "Because of my schedule, now you're busier than you used to be. Can we have sexual intercourse at least 3 times a week? Lifestyle choices. Can we travel together as a family? Or do we leave the children with grandma and grandpa?
Or aunts and uncles.
Or aunts and uncles while we travel for a week, and let's just have a getaway." Schedule things like that. Should we even have play periods or play games, in the house? I mean, we can just take the kids to family members for an hour or 2, or put them to sleep. And then you can do all whatever freaky things you want to do in the house. Number 3, you also don't have to be intimate in the bedroom alone. There's a lot of tension in the bedroom already. So why don't you just play? You can play in the kitchen.
Yes.
You can play in your sitting room.
Oh, yes.
You can even get freaky in your car, as long as you're married couples. Whatever works for both of you is fine. I've also heard of people, or some women, that would tell their husbands, "Please switch off the lights, the electricity, because they don't want to be seen. They want to look into each other's eyes." Why? So schedule all of these things, then go on dates.
Yes.
Redate yourself.
And even with the healing process of intimacy, getting people to start doing let's go back to dating.
Yes, let's go
It
back to
works,
dating.
yes.
Where did we miss it? What, and apart from tech and distractions, there are also career,
Yes.
um, you know, lifestyles and other things like that. So maybe careers change. You've got busier. A lot of things can affect intimacy. So now you're back home. You're really tired. So schedule these things and say every weekend I'll take my wife or my husband on a date.
True.
Let's go to that same favorite restaurant, that we used to eat out. Let's go shopping together. There is no harm in a man following his wife to the salon. The woman too should follow the husband to the barber's shop. Let's do things together. There is also no harm in watching football together. If he likes Manchester United, like it with him. Ask, you don't need to know the dynamics of football. Who is this player? Just pick one that you can remember the name. It's Ronaldo. Has Ronaldo scored? Hey, and you're shouting, babe, who won the match? Do something, and marriage is also compromise. Apart from the ones that are beyond, that are way, out of your values, and you can't compromise on those ones, you need to really sit down and find the balance. But there are other things you can don't be too rigid. You can't afford to be too rigid. Otherwise, you just lose the spark, and then and when the spark is lost, it's lost forever.
It's lost. When the spark is lost, it's lost. But I don't think it's lost. Well, for some people it's forever, but I think sometimes I find out that's why sometimes I always say when people say divorce, I feel like even separation can ignite it.
That's if both of you are intentional.
Yes, if you separate from each other sometimes, instead of just straight divorce, I feel that you can't value what you start valuing what you're missing in each other. I don't know what you start. I'm not. But I read it. That sometimes separation ignites the feelings again, as opposed to digging it down in the same house.
Yeah, but that's if both of them are intentional.
Okay.
I've also seen couples that separated for years and they never had conversations. That simply tells you they're both done, or one person is done. So you can't be pouring and depositing, and the other person is not, giving back.
Yeah.
So both of you need to be aligned, and you tell yourself, okay, this is not working now, but let's give ourselves some time and see if we can reignite this.
Yeah.
But both of you need to be on the same plane.
That's very
When you're
important.
not on the same plane, that's why I mentioned earlier that if your mission is different from mine, why did I marry you? Because you're a tailor, or because you're
That
very
was saying-
beautiful,
Yes.
or because you are a trophy wife and you look good beside me, or because you have money and all I need is financial support. When all those things are not there, then what happens? Then there's nothing to hold on to. So there has to be a conviction. Why am I with you? So both of you need to align, be on the same plane, and intentionally work towards the marriage. And for those that have been divorced, you need to learn the lessons. What
Yes.
have you learned from this? Where did I miss it? Was it my fault, or was it my partner's fault? What will I do in my next relationship? How will I ensure that I don't go through this path again? But some people never learn, they never look inwards, and they just bleed on another person,
Yes.
which shouldn't be.
All right. So my final question in this episode is: can marriages that have you said something about it, but I want to ask again? Can marriages that have lost intimacy be revived, or is it the beginning of the end? Feeling lonely inside their marriages.
It's a very delicate question, but let me answer it this way. If there wasn't intimacy from the outset, then it's hard to even build it, except both of them are now intentional and then they want to reintroduce themselves to each other. Like, I've been married to you for 15 years, we never had intimacy, but now we want to make it work. We need to start with, hello, nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh, my name is Shola. And your name is Dele, or whatever your name is. Then you get to know each other from the very beginning. But if you had intimacy before and the spark faded, you can rebuild it intentionally, of course. So both of you come together, like I said, what was missing? What do we want to start doing? What do we want to stop doing? What do we want to achieve? We both want to be happy. Do you love me? There are many couples that were never in love with each other.
Married for other reasons.
They were married for other reasons. There's some men I have met that will tell you they married their wives just to procreate. They just wanted children, and she's delivered the service.
Wow.
So they don't. And another thing I think we should quickly look at is the fact that some men don't love their wives. They're not intimate with their wives. Why are they intimate with their side chicks?
Okay. Good question.
So you see the side chick or the
But
side.
actually, it's because the side chick makes them useful.
Yes.
You come with your problems, the children's
That
school
is
fee,
it.
what's going to happen.
That is
you're
it.
nagging, the light bill.
Absolutely.
There's so much you're now responsible for. And this side chick is just like a youthful bunny around you, and you're just feeling like, ooh.
Yeah, because she also
You're not
has
thinking so much.
She also has a
until
mission.
She becomes a wife.
Until she becomes a wife.
Until she becomes a wife.
So that's why I said she also has a mission. So you're intimate with your side chick. What you should be giving to your wife, you're giving to the woman out there who doesn't understand the dynamics in the house and the role you're also playing that is destroying your marriage. And because she has a goal, either to be your wife or take your money, she plays that role, but is she even happy playing that role? So she's the listener. She forces herself to listen. She forces herself to be good and be holier than thou. Let her get in. Now, when she gets into that marriage, the man does the same thing to her, and then he looks for another side chick to be intimate with. So nobody is telling the man the reality of things and saying, Oga, you yourself, why don't you look inwards and be intentional with the woman in the house? A man will tell you, oh, my wife at home doesn't listen. Do you understand the type of wife that you have? Are you talking to her at the wrong time? It's not only the man that should be, we should keep observing and hoping he's a particular way. No. Also observe your wife, study your wife. There's some people that don't like to have immediate conversations. They want it to sink. They want to process it. They take a bit of time. But you want, because you're spontaneous, no, let's talk about it. No. Sometimes just say, okay, you see, in this marriage, I know that you want to take forever to think about this. I want to solve this problem now. But can we both have an agreement? Every time there's a misunderstanding, we would take maybe an hour or two to cool off. And then we must talk about this.
Yes, we must communicate.
We must communicate. So even if you do not have an answer at that point in time, can you just listen to me? And let me express myself? Then when you're ready to talk, you can come back to me. But mind you, if you let this prolong, know that resentment will set in. Because that would make me feel like you don't care about my feelings and you would rather hurt me than listen to me.
And that's why I say trust is very important.
Sure.
Because sometimes before you can open yourself up to your partner to even say, listen to me, I want to talk to you, you trust that person genuinely cares about you. And if that trust is not there, you're going to be reluctant to want to even talk about it with this person. And therefore, you slowly die off.
Yeah.
So I feel like 1 hour is not, or whatever time we've spent, is not enough to dissect how important or how the different, or should I say, parts of intimacy. I know we all know it's not only sex, but we also know that it's touch, it's service. What other parts of intimacy again?
There's also intellectual.
Yes,
intimacy.
Yes.
You should be able to have conversations from politics to sport to cooking to everything to gossip.
Yes.
With your partner.
Your partner, yeah.
Yes. So there's intellectual intimacy, there's physical intimacy, there's also spiritual intimacy. What are your values? Do you pray together? How do you want your children
and that
raised?
Pray together is so powerful.
So if you're both Christians or you're Muslims or whatever religion both of you practice, how do you ensure that the foundation of your marriage is built on this? But when you don't have those discussions or you don't practice that in your house, and you also need to be consistent. When those things are lacking, then there's a problem. So intimacy is all encompassing.
Yes.
It goes beyond just cuddling and all of that. Are you having discussions about money choices? How do we spend our money? What are our investments? What type or kind of schools do we want our children to attend?
This is becoming rarer. You hardly find these days.
Yes, so nobody's talking. I mean, they're not talking to each other.
I know someone that the man does everything in the house. She doesn't even know when it's done. It's either the person and team. So she comes in and she sees, oh, there's a new this. Oh, great. No discussion. And this is also supposed to be her house as well, and that was a major. And some people think it's small, but that was a major issue. Like
Yes.
you are here, but like you're here, but you're not here, and that actually erodes trust
Absolutely.
in terms of, do I trust you enough to come and share my thoughts with you? That, sometimes people throw it back at you too. So I think the law has to do the, like, fundamentally the foundation of your relationship.
True. And
Because if you don't trust, you cannot communication. You can't communicate where you don't trust.
exactly.
Yes,
And
not a safe space for
yeah,
you.
and you know that there's some couples or men, well, because we're talking on behalf of women.
Women,
now.
yes.
So there's some men that feel that their wives don't have a say. They just feel, no, this woman is not as intelligent, or because I'm the head of the home,
Yes.
I don't owe you any explanation, so I do whatever I like, and then you listen and obey. That's not what marriage is. Marriage is companionship. The whole idea of my husband is better than me or is higher than me, I don't know where that came from. But both of you, as long as both of you have shared the bed together, you've become one. You're equal. Now, there are also issues about third party intervention.
In-laws.
Not only in laws,
Okay.
even friends. I heard they said, oh, somebody said they saw you at. And then you take a hook, line, and sinker. And then you believe the other person, forgetting that people out there are either envious or they don't even know how your home works. But if you give them all the power, they manipulate and try to run your family from the outside. So, as a couple, what are your values? What are the things it's coming together to agree and saying, okay, grandma, grandpa would be here for 2 weeks and they leave. But not a situation where grandma and grandpa comes and stays and the husband doesn't see anything, he feels it's okay and everything, and they just leave. Like, they're not having those discussions. If you also feel
And
uncomfortable,
one person will be resentful.
yes, will be resentful. So rather than
And
resenting
it's
the
not
other
grandma
person,
and grandpa's fault. So sometimes grandma and grandpa even think the husband has
No,
communicated.
yes, has
They don't-
communicated.
They don't know that there's no communication.
so when one
Yes.
partner feels uncomfortable or the wife feels, oh, why is your mother still here? Just communicate and say,
True.
it's not like I do not want your mother here, but please, can you just,
Tell me.
tell me, or can they stay like a month so that we can have our privacy? But you're not communicating, you think everything is fine, and you're assuming, well, he hasn't complained, so he's fine with it. Well, at the end of the day, when the damage is done, then you start hearing things like, can you imagine? Her mother and father were here for a year. But, sweetie, you didn't see anything.
You were quiet.
You were quiet.
You didn't complain. You were like smiling. You were even smiling.
So how would I have known that you didn't like it?
Yeah, no communication.
So it still boils down to communication, and even arrangements in the house. I don't like brown. My husband likes red, but he's not communicate. How do I know you? I mean that you like red and you don't like the brown. So if you like red and you want brown, if I were in such shoes, I'll say, okay, we have the sitting room. Can we look for a color that looks like brown and red? If we can't find it, okay, Biko, you see this wall, can we make it brown? And then you tell the painter, can we have his red here? Or a touch of red, or a touch of brown. So the both of you agree. Sometimes these things sound very simple.
Your husband has taste.
That's another thing. And
Those
those
are compromise. Like, I cannot understand what's happening.
So if you're married to a very
Yes.
conservative person, and then the other person is not as conservative,
yeah.
I don't think you should be together in the first place.
But sometimes they say opposite attracts. I don't know if that's a myth or is it truth. But some people say, like, you see a man very calm, quiet, and you see the woman out there bubbling, or reverse. You see a very bubbly man out there and he has a very calm wife. And like when I asked, I said, does this really jive? They say, yes, opposites attract.
I think so too, but not in all cases.
All of us can be, okay.
Yeah. So a man that is very quiet might want a woman that is, that moves things, that makes things happen. But sometimes, if it's not well managed, you find out that what you were attracted to, you start to resent. Because it's now overwhelming. So you need to find a balance. And then during the dating stage, you need to ask questions. So also ask yourself, I like a woman that is outgoing because I am the antisocial one or the quiet one. But when the kids start coming, and that's when she needs to buy a shwebi to attend the party and leave my children behind, will I like it? Would it be something I can tolerate? So you need to also sit down, look inwards, and ask yourself a lot of questions. And at the same time, you also don't want to be with someone that is too alike. I cannot imagine you being a pushover,
Yes.
and then your wife too is a pushover, or the
Oh.
two of you are not. What's the word now? You're not.
One should calm the other
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so
Yeah.
sometimes it's really confusing, but
Because two of us could like partying or dancing and doing all that.
yeah,
But maybe you're more reactionary and I'm less reactionary. But so we have similarities, but we also have balance. So that if you start like, honey, it's okay. Let's figure out how we can do it. Let's
Absolutely.
figure this out.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
not everything could be alike or everything be different, but there should be a balance in it.
There should
Almost
be
like
a balance.
fitted puzzle, very perfect puzzle.
Yeah, and then you
was
just
put
learn the other
together.
person and just know this is who this
Yes.
person is, but it shouldn't just be too
separate.
Yeah.
And I think what we said now, I don't want to scare those who have not yet married. They will listen to this and go like, "Oh my god!" Because even me that's married, as I'm listening to our conversation, all I'm thinking of is this marriage is hard.
It's hard
You
work.
know, it's hard work. It's a lot of work. But I think for those who are not yet married, I think there are important lessons to pick from here. Knowledge is power. And understanding and that there's so much more than just I like the way the man looks,
Yeah.
or he's wealthy, or he's honest. My father always told me something. I never really understood it, but he always told me based on my personality. He told me, I had a very liberal, open-minded father. He told me, I don't want you marrying someone who has already reached their pinnacle. I'd rather you meet and fall in love with somebody who is maybe where you're at. So then I was just a medical student, whatever. And he said, so for example, if the guy is just driving a bicycle or something, I remember those conversations. My mom, who's an Igbo woman, said, no, no, nobody's coming with a bicycle. But he said, if someone is driving a bicycle, then I want you to connect with that person and you guys grow up together to buy the car and then to buy your house. Like you're the type of person that will fit that mold. He always told me. And it's one thing I always had in my mind that is so important. And that's why I came with this ride and die mentality. I mean, I eventually didn't do that. I didn't marry for any other reason but love. But it was someone that was really doing his own thing, of course. But I look back sometimes and I think to myself that maybe he knew my personality and he felt like you're kind of a ride and die babe. Some people say that one is punishment, babe. Oh, so that you struggle, say you struggle, and maybe you now leave you for somebody else. But I felt that was very important, that you have to pray and know who your partner is.
True.
You have to not just date and be vain. Social media has really put the wrong perspective on relationship. Material relationship is very not sustainable. You're going to be, no matter how much you smile, you're going to be miserable if that's all you went in for.
True.
But being able to I don't know, I love that word ride and die. I know we use it for ourselves as besties and friends, but I think it should be used as husband and wife.
True.
We're in this together. It's not maybe you have in-laws or your own friends against me and then you're taking sides. No. If they come against me, they come against you.
True.
If they fight me, they fight you. We're in this together. We're trying to make the best relationship where we said for life, right? For life has to be nice and comfortable. Do you understand? Peaceful.
True.
And not all this. And if you're in a wrong one, then it's good to say, I don't want to. Marriage is not by force.
It's not.
It's not by force. There's no point getting married and be miserable.
Very true.
And a culture has forced us to believe that marriage is by force, whether you're going to die or live. And I think this discussion about intimacy is so important because let's not get it twisted. Without intimacy in a relationship, any relationship, is void of substance.
It is.
That's what I will say with that one.
It is.
That's my take. Any final words?
I think you've we've said it all.
Yes.
Most important, just learn your partner, know who you're with. Others, understand their idiosyncrasies. Ask yourself, can I cope with this person? This is for the long haul. And I would also like to say this. There's some people that are not cut out for marriage. Please do not drag along someone's daughter or husband into a union that you would not invest in.
Very important.
That is the most wicked thing anybody on the surface of this earth can do. You know that you're not going to be invested in this person. then why deceive the person? It is deceit of the highest order.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not cut out to be a mother, please don't have children. If you know that you're not cut out to be a wife or a husband, please don't even venture, you know,
Mm-hmm.
into it at all. You can decide to gallivant if that's what you want,
Mm-hmm.
but don't bring in someone who has the intention to build a family and
Mm-hmm.
understands the essence of family into a dynamic that you know you're going to mess up.
Mm. Very
And
important.
there are many people like that.
There
And
is.
to society as well, I think it's also important. Let people be. I have a friend, she's in her early 50s, and she swore she would never have children and she doesn't want to get married. And she's very happy. I didn't understand what was going on with her, but she said nothing because she knows that she doesn't have the time or the capacity to take care of children. And she doesn't also want a man that is going to keep her or label her according to her. But she has a companion. She's had a companion for 20 something years. But she says she doesn't like the labels or the rings and all of that. And they don't live together. So when they have quarrels, she goes to her house, he goes to his house. Then they reunite and go on their lovely dates and travel the world. Those kind of
Christian
people.
said it was extramarital.
Yeah.
Not extramarital. What do you call it now? Fornication.
So those kind of people, let them be. But when you force that
So
kind
society
of
and religion. Don't know say society.
yeah,
Religion and society.
society. So that type
Because
of
it's not
woman,
seen as
yeah, I mean like the norm, right? But when you force that type of woman and tell her to go get married, she would frustrate that home. She wouldn't. I'm sure
her mind won't be there.
Yeah, her mind won't be there. And lastly, you also find out that some women leave their children carelessly, do other things, go out with friends. Some even lock their children in the car. Some lock their children, at home and travel for 2, 3 days and tell the children, so this is how to put on the gas cooker. This is how you prepare your meals.
forbid,
And these are children under the age of 10. Is that a mother?
No.
So if you do not have the capacity and the readiness, the mental readiness to take care of a child, to go into marriage, to take care of a man and say, this is my partner and we're living life together, please don't venture into it.
True.
That's not an institution you should even look at. It's an institution that is for two intentional people that want to live life together, share their vulnerabilities together, have a family, live happy, sort out problems. There's conflict resolution. There's so much you're learning from each other. And then you build a beautiful future. Don't jeopardize it.
So for all those out there not yet married, marriage can be beautiful with a whole lot of wisdom. Today we've learned that intimacy is not just about sex, it's about connection, safety, and the courage to truly see and be seen by the one you love. When intimacy fades, marriages starve. And if that hunger continues too long, it can push couples apart, sometimes even to the point of divorce. Because at the core, every human being deserves to feel loved, valued, and appreciated. A huge thank you to my guest, Dr. Shola Opodu, and her Instagram page at Diary of a Trauma Survivor for sharing her wisdom and reminding us that no matter the pain, intimacy can be rebuilt and marriages can thrive again. My hope is that this episode bridges the gap, sparks the conversations we've been avoiding, and creates the awareness needed to strengthen marriages and heal hearts. We would love to hear from you as well as we talk about the intimacy crisis in marriages. We want to know what your views are after hearing our conversation, or if you have any questions. So I'm sure I would love to hear from you, and I'm sure Dr. Shola would love to hear from you as well if you have questions for her. Stay connected with us at YouTube. All our full episodes are usually on YouTube. HERcast with Dr. Chito. You can listen to us on all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google. We also air on Rapid TV, Startimes channel 176 on Saturdays 7 p.m. and Sundays 2 p.m. Follow us at HERcast Podcast and at Dr. Chito N. You can also send questions and comments also to Dr. Shola at Diary of a Trauma Survivor. This has been HERcast with Dr. Chito, where her strength is your inspiration. Until next time, keep your hearts open, your connections alive, and never stop fighting for intimacy that lasts. Take care.